Thank you so much, PS, and thank you, members of the press, for finding time to be here. As my colleague PS Kibicho has said, you know that we are now all preparing for the general elections on the 9th of August. And when we were here last time, we told you that we would have monthly meetings. This is our second last meeting just before the elections. We are going to have the final prep meeting a few days before the elections to check all the boxes, to be sure that we have taken position to support the IEBC to conduct the general elections. We've listened to our field colleagues, the regional security teams have briefed us on what they have been doing in preparation for the elections. We are satisfied and very impressed by the work that is going on in the regions. Across the 47 counties in Kenya, peace-building activities have been going on, direct engagement in all structures of security, from the national government administration, the police, Nyumba Kumi, elders, and non-state actor agencies, has gone on very well. And I can tell you for sure the number of meetings that have taken place. Every region has reported over 100 small-scale meetings. Yeah, it's a place where we are, next to the airport. Yeah, the regional security teams have reported that they have had numerous meetings at all levels, because in our planning we insisted that constant engagement with the smallest possible units of administration and management must happen during this time. So meetings have taken place with village elders, with Nyumba Kumi team leaders, with our national government administration units at the grassroots level. And we are sincerely satisfied that there is sufficient engagement to support peaceful elections. The IEBC has been in touch with the National Police Service, and IEBC officials across the country have been in touch with our national security structures. All the polling stations, except those that are in security sensitive areas, have all been reviewed jointly by IEBC and our security agencies. And our security agencies have made recommendations where necessary on the security, accessibility, and so on of the polling stations. And in all cases, we've had a very cordial working relationship with the IEBC. None of our security teams from the regions has reported any problem or any breakdown of communication between them and the IEBC. None of them have reported any challenge with the IEBC. And now we are moving to the last stage of final preparation of movement of materials supporting IEBC officials as they move around and securing the activities of the 9th of August. The government has got sufficient resources. We are going to deploy now vehicles to transport our officers to support IEBC to do this. And there are areas in the country where it will be necessary for us to deploy aerial transport. That too we have mapped out, and this morning we have agreed that we'll finalize our plans next week on areas where we need to deploy aerial transport. So between the National Police Service and ourselves at the Ministry of Interior, we will have sufficient air transport to cover all those areas where we need aerial transport to facilitate the IEBC to do their work. So far, no incident has been reported from any of the IEBC officers across the country of any particular challenge. which means their contact and engagement with our national security officers across the board is very successful and very helpful. And I would like to reiterate our position that we remain ready, present and available to do our work as expected by the people of Kenya, namely to support the IBC to conduct the general elections. I think I need to make a very general comment on the state of security in the country. We are satisfied because we also drill to very specific details in these meetings, some of which, for obvious reasons, I will not discuss here. But all the 8 committees have reported that our country is secure and safe. There are very isolated incidents that have been reported of possible criminal gang activity in some parts of the country. Where this has come up, we have already resolved these issues. You saw about 2 weeks ago when the Inspector General and I were in Nakuru to deal with the challenge in Nakuru, which we have not only surmounted, but I think we are on the way to exhaustively resolving. And a few isolated incidents in parts of central region of our country and in parts of North Rift, and a small part of Nyanza, where we are also now conducting investigations and profiling possible small gang activities that could emerge around these elections. All we want to say on behalf of my colleagues who are standing here with me is that we urge all political players, all our brothers and sisters who are interested in elective offices to conduct themselves lawfully. They should not be tempted by anything to resort to either reviving or trying to create gangs to intimidate opponents or to try to interfere with the electoral process. We are alert across the board, and we have resolved that we will not allow any of those activities to happen. Where some of those incidents have come up, like one incident that came up in Kiambu, the incident in Nakuru that I've spoken about, I want to be very honest and say this, because all Kenyans would like to have very peaceful elections, and that's what we are all looking forward to, and that's what we are all working for. We will be merciless, we will be ruthless if we detect any activity that is akin to trying to resuscitate, create or revive any form of gang activity. And where we detect any of those things, we are alert 24/7. We will act with very serious resolve. We will not tolerate that. This is not the time to say those kinds of things we keep saying all the time, persuading people and telling them, don't break the law, don't do this and so on. Kenyans would like a peaceful election. And that's what the message we are getting from everyone. We interact with Kenyans, our religious leaders across the board, our civic leaders across the board, our non-state actor agencies from civil society, and everyone is asking us, let's have a peaceful election. And that's what we all want, and that's what we all desire. And that's what we in the security sector have a duty to ensure happens. And we will ensure it happens. There is nothing we are going to stop at. We will pull all stops to ensure that no one, regardless of their status in society, regardless of their affiliation or whoever they are, no one interferes with the peace of this country under the pretext of campaigning or doing anything. We will be merciless, and we will not apologize for that, because we want a peaceful election. In areas in the country where we have detected one or two of those activities, in some of them you have seen that the Inspector General himself has gone there with his senior team, GSU Commandant and the others, and we've acted to ensure that nothing disturbs the peace in this country. I have no evidence, and I need to be honest about this, I have no evidence that there is anything that should worry us about the elections. I think the country is peaceful, we are secure, we are all following all the campaign activities very well, and they are going on well. And where a challenge arises, we will address it accordingly. As I said, in areas where the regional security teams have reported some sightings or some observation of possible temptation by one or two political actors to try and mobilize around gang activity, those are the ones I've said we are totally alert. That's where we have the information. We move in and profile, and we will go for whoever it is and whoever they are. We will go for them without mercy, because we want a peaceful election. But so far, and I think finally, I need to thank you, wonderful people from the press, for your continued interest in the security sector, for your communication, and for the service that you continue to give our country. And thank my fellow citizens, the people of Kenya. I think by and large, 9 out of 10 Kenyans are peaceful people who are interested in a peaceful election. And that is why we are peaceful. We have challenges, and they're not going to end today or tomorrow. They're part of life. But Kenyans believe that we should work on these challenges together, peacefully. And the more peaceful we are, the more we converse one with another, the more we engage one with another, and the more likely it is that we will resolve our challenges easily than by resorting to any other means. So we wish everyone all the best during this campaign period. We will have the final meeting, as I said, a few days before the elections, when we do the final checking of all the boxes. But so far, so good, and we are ready. Thank you.
Thank you. We are seeing politicians who are making very firm statements that they will guard their votes on the voting day. And we know very well that Kenya's politicians and also the Kenyans who are being...
You know, this is not a banana republic. You know, Kenya is not some sort of funny small state that is trying to define itself now, 6 decades after independence. Our democracy has come of age. We are a solid, serious country, and we believe in the rule of law. The Constitution is abundantly clear. The IEBC conducts elections, and the IEBC guides all of us, including us in the security sector. And what will happen on 9th is what the IEBC has said will happen, and how IEBC will guide us. Because IEBC will say officials of the elections are going to be dressed in this manner, and they are going to be identified in this manner. And then they will tell the Inspector General of Police, within the vicinity of the polling station, people will come peacefully and queue and vote. And after they have gone away, the officials of the elections, whether they are officially identified agents, party representatives, and so on, as the case usually is, will be supported to do their work. Now, if you are not one of those, then you know what we are supposed to do to you, we in the security sector. Make sure that we remove you from there because you are a criminal. Because if you are not an official, the person who designates the officials of an election is the IEBC. And the IEBC is going to designate the officials and tell them the officials are the returning officer, the polling clerks, the presiding officers, and then the party agents and representatives of the candidates and all these, and how they will look and how they will identify themselves. Now, if you are not one of those, you know, sometimes I wonder whether we should actually spend time on some things. I understand. Nerves are now raw and all manner of pressures are there and so on, but I am not one to take many of those things that are said seriously, because some of them are said in moments of petty excitement. Everyone knows the law, and we will follow the law, and the police will follow the law. So my simple answer to you, my brother, is this. If you meet them, those ones you are saying who are saying, tell them in one sentence, please follow the law and live by the law. That's all. And the law now is, Mr. Chebukati, the chairman of IEBC, will guide us. Tell us these are the people I expect at the polling station. And then the rest are then not supposed to be there, because you go and vote. If you are an official, you do your work. If you are not an official, you have no work to do. And if you have no work to do, then it means then that Mr. Csmatiang'I must work out a way of getting you some work to do or getting you out of there. Thank you.
Thank you very much.